You guys know he is. He's the modern day Napoleon Hill. He's a YouTube genius and the author of Built to Serve. He's a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, and he's on a mission to solve the world's greatest problem. Ladies and gentlemen, help me. Come on, help me welcome to the virtual stage, Evan Carmichael.
Movement makers, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Welcome, everybody. Hey, man. Zan the man was bringing some extra fire this morning. If you love Zan and the energy in the zone, give him a round of applause. I love it, Zan. It's early for him. He's on the West Coast. This is 7:30 for him in the morning. I don't have that much energy at 7:30, but Zan, we love you. Welcome, everybody. This is amazing. I'm super excited to be here. We've got a very special topic today, and we've got a whole bunch of new members I see in the room as well. Great to have you guys on board. What I'm going to do is pop over to my share screen because we have an extra special topic to cover today. Let me pop it up here. I'll bring it in. The 9-step ultimate coaching process. Now, this one was, Pablo's excited. He's clapping his hands. He's ready to go. Is he wearing the hoodie? You got the hoodie on there, Pablo? Hey, we're working on the new one, Pablo. We're working on the new one for you. We're working on the new one. Pablo wants this hoodie. This is only available in my Toronto store. So we're working on getting them out. Anyway, the 9-step ultimate coaching process. This was a winning topic by Abby. So shout out to you, Abby. Thank you for recommending it. And for any new members here, every 2 weeks, we post a poll to our Facebook group of what do you want me to cover? So it's always the most relevant, most timely, whatever you guys care the most about right now. Tariq said, so excited for this. Just had my first live session. That was awesome, Tariq, man. Much love from South Africa. Go check out Tariq. Okay, but first, a couple shout outs. One thing we always love doing is shouting out some people in this community because we are not in this alone. This is a family here at Movement Makers. We got some new members: Sai, Gaurav, Nikki, Craig, Pascal, Isaac, Pauline, Jan or Jan, Ibu Furo. Hope I got that right. Edge, Elizabeth, Marcella, Rochelle, Trainer Jane, Lillian, welcome aboard. Welcome to Movement Makers. Great to have you here. Hey. And also, for anybody new, we're also doing a 100 video challenge. The goal here is to make 100 videos of you sharing your expertise, sharing your love, sharing your passion, sharing your wisdom, sharing it and getting it out there. Before you judge yourself and say that you suck at this, make 100 videos. And we've got a post on our Facebook group where you can keep tab of where you're at. And so Erasmo is on 33. Belinda just hit 42. Tessa Marie just hit 59. Tessa Marie, we're getting there. This is amazing. So if you guys want to hop on the 100 video challenge and you haven't heard about it before, message Yelena, who's here as well. And we'll make sure that you get the information on that because I want to see your message get out there into the world. It's time to get out of our head and start sharing that message with the world. So congrats, everybody. Now, normally what I do, this is a big topic, guys. This is one that's super close to my heart. We've been talking about it for the past couple sessions. Normally what I do is I share my 3 big ideas and we do breakouts and we do Q&As. The slides, as always, are put in our group. So you don't have to worry about taking screenshots. You'll get the Photoshop or the PSD afterwards. Sorry, PDF. But this one is extra special. This is such an important topic for me and I think for you that we're actually going to split it up over 2 sessions. So it's part 1 today and part 2 in 2 weeks. I really want you to get it because I could rush through it and just pepper you with all the ideas, but I really want to dive deep so you can understand it. So today I'm actually going to share 5 big ideas instead of 3. There's a lot of content to get through, and I was so excited for you. This is going to be one of the foundational, one of these special ones that we cover in Movement Makers. Okay, so 5 big ideas. The first one is, why does it matter? Glenn is saying, want to join 100 video challenge? Amazing. Yelena, if you can connect with Glenn afterwards and make that happen. Mark, good morning. Jumping in and out. My wife is attending Tony Robbins UPW. All right, we're up against Tony. Let's go. We're bringing love. Glad to have you guys here. Okay, why it matters. So first off, just quickly about coaching. You guys have heard me talk about coaching over and over again. I think as a thought leader, it is the most important thing to be doing at the start, at least of your journey. Whether you want to go on and be a coach and that's part of your mission, amazing. But if not, it's still the most important thing that everybody needs to get some experience doing. The first is content. So I do coaching almost every day live on my Instagram. Here are some beautiful faces and beautiful people that I've done some recent coaching with, and I do it when I'm, feeling great and lots of sun on my face and in a great mood. I do it. This was in Puerto Rico, and I'm in my bathrobe doing coaching. This is me. I'm looking pretty tired in that shot. It's like it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to always look like this. You don't always have to be perfect in front of the camera, especially when it's doing it on Instagram, because the most important thing is you're teaching me to think like you think. So step number one is just getting content out there. I want you guys to get more content out there. That's the whole reason for the 100 video challenge. You think differently. You have a message to share. I want other people to understand your message. And so even more powerful than the thought leadership template that we've talked about before, that's in Built to Serve, is you showing me the results that you can get somebody. That in having a conversation with you, somebody's eyes bug out and say, holy cow, I can't believe that's possible. And you're changing that person's life. And then you're also changing anybody else who's watching. They get inspired to say, maybe I can make a change in my life as well, because you had that conversation. This is the number one piece of advice that I'm giving all the big names that I work with, to say, I need more coaching videos, not just you talking a video. All the guys, and the ladies who you see on YouTube and you love and you follow, all of them. I've likely had a hand in helping their channels grow, and I'm telling them to do more coaching as the biggest strategy for 2021. It's also a lot easier for people to show up, for you to create content, than to try to memorize a script and just talk to a camera. It's a lot easier to talk to somebody. When you feel like there's somebody in front of you and you're helping them, it's a lot easier to do it. And you just ask, hey, how can I help? You don't have to memorize anything. They're bringing you the content. So this is an easy way to get content out there, to start spreading your message, your mission. And again, hopefully people are asking you questions around what you know about, right? When I go live on Instagram and people come in, they're not asking me like, how do you braid your hair? Right? They're asking me things around entrepreneurship and personal development, like things that hopefully I'm an expert at. I know what I'm doing. Next, it's also the fastest way to make money. So if you guys are in the early stages and you're trying to turn this into a full-time business, you want to be able to quit your job and start making more money for you, your family, it's the fastest way. Before getting to speaking or books or courses or anything else, it's the fastest way to actually start making money in your business. It's trading your time for money. It's not as efficient, but it's the fastest way to start bringing money in. So this is a picture of Fonda White, who he joined my live stream on YouTube. Every 4 times a week, Zan, Drew, and I go live on YouTube answering people's questions. And Fonda came in, and we challenged him to do some outreach and DM people on Instagram. And he tried it. And he just started DMing some people on Instagram, and he got his first coaching client who signed up for 6 months of coaching with him. He told us last night he doesn't even want to be a coach. And that's not part of his long-term ambitions. It's like, here's a guy who doesn't want to be a coach, who's getting coaching clients just by doing DMing on Instagram. So we've got a picture of Terry Wade Thompson, who's here in the house as well. We love you, Terry, because in Built to Serve, page 194 is the strategy. It's called the Fast Path to Freedom. So it's the DMing strategy of how do I get people to sign up for my coaching services. It has scripts, it has examples that's in there. And that's what Fonda White was using to go off and get his clients. You can do it too. So it's the fastest way to start making money in your business, coaching. Next, you guys want to write books? People here want to write books. You want to be an author, you want to write books. If you do, before you write a book, coaching lets you know who you're talking to. So Built to Serve. So I'm here with Dean, who's a supporter of the book. Built to Serve basically is a result of all the coaching that I've done. It's a result of all the conversations that I have helping entrepreneurs. If you're writing nonfiction, right, which I think is where most people are at here, then coaching allows you to understand the back and forth. So here's what happens. When you have gone through something yourself, you want to share with the world, right? You've come through something, you've grown, you've learned. Now you want to share that with the world. how it worked for you is not going to be exactly how it works for other people. And so what you have to understand is that feedback that they get coming back to you is the thing that makes you a better author, a better coach, a better speaker, etc. So when you're writing a book, it's only a one-way conversation. That's the challenge. When you're writing the book, it's you only talking to them. There's no feedback. So you have to know what their feedback is going to be so you can write a better book. Most of what this book is, Built to Serve, is me knowing how people will react to the message. Here's the message. Here's the who I how. And then knowing how people respond to it and then dealing with those objections inside the book. So even if your ambitions are to be a great author, start with being a coach. One example that I shared on my live stream was Ben Shapiro, who, if you guys know him or not, he's a right wing. I don't know what would you call him. He's a personality, I guess, but he's also an author. And anytime he's writing a new book, he goes on tour across the U.S. to different college campuses with his thesis of what he wants to write the book on, and he does these town halls, which basically become giant uh, debate sessions. He basically wants people to poke holes in his arguments. It's like, tell me why I'm wrong. And what he does is use that feedback to strengthen his argument to then write a better book. So in the working with people and understanding what struggles they're facing and how they hear your message, it allows you to craft a better message as opposed to creating in a vacuum. Most authors create their book in a total vacuum, and then it doesn't land with people and they don't end up having the success that they need. So you have to test drive the messages first. Books are basically group coaching, but there's no feedback. So you have to know what you're doing. Same thing with speaking. Speaking is group coaching. Speaking is you're sitting there on a stage and maybe there's 10 people or maybe there's 10,000 people in the audience. There's no direct feedback coming back to you. So you have to know what they're thinking. You have to have done the work on the individual basis first. This is a picture of Lily, who I worked with a number of years ago, who she wanted to be a speaker. It's like, my goal is to be a speaker. I want to be on the TEDx stage. And we got her. This is a picture of her on the TEDx stage. I said, though, before you go and be a speaker, you have to be a coach, because you have to know the people in the audience. Otherwise, your message will not land. Same thing for the book. She ended up loving coaching so much that she stopped being a speaker and now is just full-time coach. But even if coaching is not your ultimate ambition, it's your starting point to actually get to know your audience in a paid way. Like, there's a big difference between just coaching somebody for free and coaching somebody who's willing to pay you. And then everything else that you're trying to create, your courses, anything else, you'll make a better course if you've done coaching. You'll make a better book, a better speaking gig, better course, all of it, if you've done coaching. And this is a huge mistake that people fall into, is you start creating a course or you start making your topic for your speech. You haven't test driven it enough on individual people to help them get results. Your job as a speaker, as a course creator, as a book, is to help people get a result. They're coming here with this problem, which is a problem you solve for yourself, and you need to get them from here to solving the problem. And if it was just as simple as do these 4 steps, then people would do it and everybody would be rich and thin and happy and and all of it. The problem is you're dealing with humans who will have objections, who will have their own logical process and emotional process. And so you have to understand how to navigate that. And you can't navigate that unless you're actually coaching people. So it's super important. It's why we're going to spend some extra time on this, because I really want you to get it. I see a bunch of questions already. Yellen is going to save some for me in the chat. Helen was saying, you know, the script, Evan, which you gave the other day, is that for coaching? I'm confused. I wrote it down, but only after looking at the notes. I never realized what was it for. I'm not sure what script you're referring to, Helen, but if you could be more specific, I'm happy to answer that. And Yellen, let's pay attention to Helen's response there. Okay, so now let's get to how to actually do it, right? So the first 4 steps of being a great coach, okay? Step number 1 is create a safe space. This is super, super, super important. Most people feel like they're being judged. People are being judged constantly. People are being judged by their spouses, by their kids, by their parents, by their friends, by their teachers, by their, like, they're all in this big ball of judgment constantly. Your job is to not judge them. Your job is to create that safe space. Your job is, no matter what they say, and some things are easy to not judge for, and some things are harder to not judge for. Like if somebody came to you, if you want to be a great coach, if somebody came to you and told you something that they did that you would never do, you know, I cheated on my wife, as an example, right? Like that would destroy me. But I'm not going to judge them for that off the bat, because if they feel the judgment, then I can't help them. They're not going to grow. Most people are really afraid to tell anybody about the things that are going on in their life. They barely want to admit it to themselves. And now you're asking them to tell a stranger. What ends up happening in a lot of these sessions is people will tell you things that they've never told anybody else. They will tell you things that they've kept hidden, that their spouses don't know, their parents don't know, their family doesn't know, like nobody knows. And now they're here telling you because you created that space for them. A lot of it is just in the intention. It's how you show up. It's the vibe. It's even look at how we started Movement Makers. For those who are new here, you join early, you see Zen, welcome everybody, playing some music. He's got the happy song on. When I first joined, he had Caribbean music going. It's like it creates the stage. So what's the stage that you're setting for people? And it's just how you show up. If you're showing up, angry, then they're gonna be a little more on guard. If they feel any kind of judgment, they're gonna feel a little more on guard and not share what you need to share. One of my favorite exercises to do, and I forget who taught me this. It wasn't around coaching even. It was just a recipe for happiness. Is imagine you love this person, and this is what I would do and still do when I'm walking down on the street and I see some stranger. In my head, as a quick 2-second exercise, I love this person. It sounds really weird and cheesy, but if you imagine this person walking down the street, it's like, I love this person. You just show up differently. Instead of like head down in your phone, trying to ignore everybody, it's like you're a little more happy and you might give a smile. Doesn't mean you go up and like hug some total random stranger and have them punch you or something. But that intention shift makes a big difference. So even as a little mental reset before you go into doing a coaching session, say, I love this person. I want them to win. I'm here to serve them. And just those 4 seconds of intention helps you show up better and set the stage for them to share something that they may have never shared before. Make sense? Gaurav is saying Zane is super cool. All right. I like it. I agree. Zane is surely the man. All right. Zane's getting tons of love here in the chat. I love it. Orlando's asking, how many free coaching calls should one do before charging for it? So I would split this up. It's a great question. I would split this up between public content is free, paid content is paid. So if you're going to go live on Instagram and turn it into a YouTube video, that's your free show. You do one of those. Hopefully, if you're a good enough coach, people will then ask like, hey, how do I do more of that with you? That was a great first session. How do I, like, what's next? Did you have a package? Can I do more with you? Yes, I do. Right. Once a month, once a week, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is that you have as your packages. And other people will watch it and say, how do I work with you? I don't want it to be public on Instagram, but can I hire you? I like the idea of doing one for free. If you're going to have a 15-minute session with somebody to get to know you and to help give them value. But as with all coaching, you're not just done. It's like personal training. Having a personal trainer come in once is not going to really get you a lot of results. It may open to the world of what's possible. You may get pushed beyond what you've been pushed at before, which is fantastic. But you need to keep going back. You need to get the coach. You need to have that influence, a positive environment around you. So first one for free, public ones are free, secondary ones paid. And that's your goal, is to be so good. Like when Lily, if I go back to Lily, when Lily was first getting started, like, how do you know when you're ready to charge? Well, when people come back and say, how do I do that again? If you're doing coaching sessions, she did, I want to say 75 to 100 coaching sessions before somebody asked her. But she wasn't good at it yet. This was the point. Like she was developing the skill of how do I be a good coach. So when people go live with you, or when you do your 15-minute call with somebody, they should be at the end asking, or in an email follow-up asking, hey, how do I do more work with you? What's the next step? Because you gave them so much value and opened up their mind. Okay, next. So number one, create a safe space. This is before you even say a word. It's just creating a safe space for them. Your intention going in. They're already feeling judged. Reduce that barrier, make them feel loved. This might sound like mushy stuff, but it's super, super important. Number two, find out where they're stuck. What is going on emotionally? This is where people get stuck. Again, it's not just about the how-to. How-tos are easy. How-tos, you can go look it up on Google. How do you lose weight? Great. You eat less and you work out more. The how-tos are pretty easy. There's an emotional block with people. Like, why can't I follow that plan? There's a limiting belief somewhere that the great coaches, that's what you uncover. That's what you have to figure out. All of the best leaders, whether it's a business leader, a personal trainer, you're a psychologist. You're really a psychologist. If you're a good personal trainer, you're not just teaching people how to lift correctly, you're a psychologist. A great coach is a great psychologist. You have to get inside their head and understand what is the emotional limiting belief that is preventing them from taking the action. So what's the story? Diving into what is their story? What does that mean to him or her? They're here, they're stuck. They want to grow, they want to get better, but how does it make them feel that they're stuck? Before you can get to actually coaching them and giving the advice, because what we want to do is give advice. We want to say, do this, this, this. Here, easy. Boom, boom, boom. I'm on fire. Answer, 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 answer. Go. Next, next. Come on, bring it. The problem is they're not going to do the work because they don't need the how-to yet. They have to make the emotional connection to you first to understand that you understand them and that you actually got to the core of the problem. Until we uncover what that limiting belief is, the likelihood of them following through is almost zero. So you have to understand the block that is holding them back on an emotional level. If you watch my coaching sessions, they are me asking questions, asking questions, asking questions, asking questions. And then there's this point where it actually becomes advice when I know, and we're going to talk about that point later on, but it's creating a safe space. And then I'm just asking very disarming, curiosity-based questions for me to get to know the person. But this is what I'm trying to figure out, right? This is what I'm trying to dive into. So they're just sharing. They don't even know where it's going. You've got a plan of where it's going. I've got a plan for where it's going to go. I've got that master plan in my head. You do too as a coach. They're just showing up and asking questions. They don't even realize that the session's begun. You're just having a conversation. That's how you want it to feel, that they're completely at ease, having a conversation with a friend. And this is what you're trying to figure out, is where they're stuck. This is why in a tech space, it's really hard. So, tonight when Zanju and I go live, people ask us questions, but it's text. They're typing in questions. It's a lot harder because we don't really know the details behind everything. So sometimes we'll go back and forth, and I'll ask before I answer their question, I'll ask a couple questions to get a little bit more context. But this is why coaching with somebody in front of you is going to be a lot easier, a lot more fulfilling too, because you get to see their eyes light up to say, wow, I made a big impact. Why? You need to get to the why. Why? Where does this come from? Where does the belief come from? Why do you feel like this? Why is it so important to you? When you understand their why, it gives you a better picture for how to help them. One of the things that even this is Tariq we're talking to here on this live session. Tariq is a coach, and he used to be a swimmer in South Africa, and was one of the first non-white swimmers to be competing and have a lot of success. And one thing that I did in our session that Zen actually brought up at the end was, hey, you brought it back to swimming. So this is a 31-minute conversation. We talked about swimming at the very beginning, but then at the end, I brought it back to swimming to try to make it more relatable to Tariq, right? And that was, I'm not having my checklist out while I'm going through this, right? I'm going through these steps more with flow and automatically. But the more you can speak their language and connect to their why, the better it's going to be for them to get the result that you need. What's the real problem? This is super important, guys. the question people come in with is very rarely what they actually need help with. This is why the tech space is really hard, because people are asking a question. It's very rarely the thing that they actually need help with, right? Somebody could come in and ask me, hey, how do I grow my YouTube channel? Great. I can give lots of tactics on that. The problem is they're afraid of being judged. And so they don't want to create content. And so like, that's what we need to figure out. Like, why are you so afraid of being judged? Whose opinion do you care so much about? Because once you can unlock that, the how-to is like, pull out your phone and make a video. That becomes a lot easier. But if I just say, okay, pull out your phone and make a video, they're not going to do it because of that fear, that limiting belief. So it's understand that just don't take their question at face value. We got to dig underneath to figure out the reason why they're asking that question. Make sense? So what's going on emotionally? Why? And what's the real problem? So this is how we figure out where they're stuck, right? So we're creating a safe space, and then we're just asking questions, figure out where they're stuck. We're not giving any advice yet. Step number 3, wear their skin. This might be the hardest one to do of all of them. Zan and I have gone back and forth a bunch on this and how to do it. But people say, what does it put walk a mile in their shoes? Something like that. Like try to be like that person. I take it the next step, whereas I want to wear their skin. I am them. I be them. I want to be that person. Not just walk in their shoes, I am them. Because if you can be them and you can understand them and you can feel them, like a lot of times I'll feel the thing that they're feeling right now. When you can feel that, it lets you into their world to allow you to then help them get out of their world, to help them get to the next step. So what I like to do is pretend that you know what you know, but you're them with your knowledge, right? So you're them, but you've got your knowledge. You are them in what they're dealing with right now. You are wearing their skin. You become them, but you have the knowledge that you have. You have the experience that you have. So how can you then help them get the result that they need? This mistake right here is why so many coaching businesses go under. Is you have to be willing to give advice that you would not take yourself. If you want to be a great coach, if you can only coach people who are exactly like you, you've by definition really limited your pool. It's still possible. You can still do it, but you're really limiting your pool of who you can help. If you've got a bigger mission, a bigger vision, and you want to be a fantastic coach, you have to be willing to coach many, many, many different kinds of people. And that means you have to be willing to give advice that you wouldn't take because you're not them. So a lot of times the advice that I give people is stuff that I would never do myself. I hate that idea, but it's the best thing for you because I'm wearing their skin and I am them. So it's not having the judgment on the advice that you're going to be giving, because when you think of it, oh, I would never do that. And so then we don't want to share it. That willingness is super important. I try to catch yourself or check yourself to say, am I only giving this advice because it's what I would do in their shoes? I think that's the worst advice you can give. If I was in your shoes, here's what I do. But you're not them. You have different problems than they do. So don't tell me what you would do in their shoes. Tell me what they should do in their shoes. That's the hardest piece to get because it's letting go of your own judgment of the solution. Another version of this, and this came out of talking to Zan on some of our live streams, was become the 2025 version of them. The reason why the advice lands so often is because it's not Evan Carmichael. I don't even take any credit for it. If I'm coaching Zan on something, it's not Evan Carmichael talking to Zan. It's 2025 Zan talking to Zan. So I basically become 2025 Zan. I become the best version of the person. Like imagine 2025 you came back and was talking to you right now. What would they say? That's who I try to become. And even saying that, I think, helps the message land harder. So when say, thank you, I never saw that, I appreciate you, or whatever they're saying back to you, it's like, it's not even me. It's not even me. This is Zane 2025 or Susie 2025 coming back and talking to you. So back to Lily, the example, right? Somebody asked, can I give an example? Lily was struggling at one point to get that coaching and speaking career off the ground. And she got really frustrated and she started swearing at me. Not at me, but like swearing at the situation. So I swore back. She's like, oh my God, I've never heard you swear. It's like, I didn't swear. That's not me talking. That's Lily 2025. It's like you become the person. You give them back what they need. I mean, if anybody's consuming any of my content, I don't swear. I've never sworn in here. I don't swear in my videos. It's just not, my parents behind my wall. That's kind of how they raised me, whether that's a strength or a con, whatever. But I'll show up as the person that person needs. So it wasn't me. Lily, I didn't swear. I was being you. It's like I became Lily 2025, bringing it back to where we are right now. And that's the message that you need to hear. Make sense? It's a hard one to get, but this is the practice. And the first part is taking your own judgment out of the equation. So be them, understand them. You are them, but with your knowledge, give advice that you wouldn't take, and then become the 2025 version of them. Okay, that's step 3, wear their skin. I love this stuff so much. This is so much fun. Okay, step number 4. And this is where we're going to kind of cut this session. But session number 4 is the 85% confidence rule. I like to get 85% sure. And when I'm 85% sure, I'm 100. When you're 85% sure that you've got the answer to help them, you need to become 100, not just act like you're 100. You are 100% sure. Why is that important? It's important because if you have any doubt in the advice you're giving, they're going to hold on to the doubt. If you hedge, if you say, well, I think this will work for you, even if you're 92% sure that this will work, right? I think this will work for you. Even the doubt in your voice and you saying, I think, is going to mean they won't do it. Even though you're 92% sure that it's a thing for them. You have to be 100% sure. You have to act 100% sure because your confidence in them is greater than their lack of confidence in them. Whoever is more confident wins. They're coming in with a lack of confidence. You need to come in and share your confidence in them so much that it's 100% sure that then they start to doubt their own lack of self-confidence. Like, well, if Susie really believes that I can do it, maybe I can do it. More than even the advice it's your belief in the advice that's going to sway them. It's like that this is the thing that you need to do. And then if you stick with it and I'll coach you through it, you'll get to the result that you want. It's that belief that they're holding on to that gives them the confidence to go do the thing. And so if you're holding on to the 15% uncertainty, they're not going to take the advice because they sense the hedge. It's why for the thought leadership template for the videos, you lead with a powerful opinion. It's not saying, most people struggle with this, or using words like maybe or might or could. If that's the opening of a video, you've already lost them because they're looking for the no's. As much as they say they want help, they love staying comfortable and safe from where they're at. And so they're looking to poke holes. They're looking for, okay, well, they're not so sure about that. And so because you have a little bit of doubt, that means they're going to reject your whole argument and not listen to you. So steps 1 to 4 here are building us up to get to 85% confidence. You can never be 100% confident. In the book, we talk about Colin Powell, where he's making decisions when he was in charge of the Army, where he was 30 to 50% confident, something like that. because by the time you have 100% confidence, it's looking backwards. You can never be 100% sure going forward. It's only what's already happened. And by that time, it's too late to make a decision. So the whole point of steps 1 to 4 here is we're understanding, we're listening, we're learning, we're trying to get inside their head, we're trying to be them, we're asking questions to try to get to 85% confidence as here's the advice that this person needs. You're looking for the patterns. So I love just talking to people, because how somebody explains anything is how they think everywhere. So if somebody is showing up and is talking about their weekend, or is talking about their YouTube channel, or is talking about the books that they read, or talking about whatever is on their mind, you can hear patterns, you can hear their thought process, you can get at their mindset through any conversation. So I don't even care if we're talking about the subject yet. I'm looking for patterns. Like, ooh, okay, she mentioned that again. Oh, she said that again. Oh, he said that again. Okay, you're making your mental notes of how this person sees the world. And sometimes it's even better to not talk about the specific thing they need help with yet, because it's more disarming to talk about their weekend or their kids. But it's not small talk. You're looking for the patterns that then you're going to bring in to giving them the advice that gets you to the 85% confidence. Jennifer says, OMG, say that again. I need to write that down. Say the quote again. What was the quote? I don't remember. But this is being recorded, so you'll have it inside Movement Makers afterwards. I don't remember what I said, but I'm glad that you liked it. This is a stream of, I'm wearing your skin. This is a stream of consciousness. This is not kind of memorized. Okay. The next reason why this is so important is once you start giving advice, if you're a good coach, you're going to get defensiveness. If you're giving advice and there's no pushback, then you haven't done your job yet. Your job is to take them out of their comfort zone so they can get to where they need to go. That's your job. That's what a coach does. And again, through books, speaking, courses, all of it, your job is to transport somebody from where they are to where they want to be. For them to get there, they have to go through their comfort zone. Oh, can I remember it? Susie and Zan had their thing. Okay, hold on, see if I got it. There's the comfort zone. No, there's the I forget the first zone. Then it's comfort zone, and then learning zone and growth zone. Did I get it? Kind of? Okay. So to get there, fear zone. Oh, the fear zone. You got to get through the fear zone. Yeah, that's their model. So if there's no defensiveness, Zan says comfort, fear, learning, growth. Okay, that's those are the zones. We love you, Zan. So if there's no defensiveness, then you haven't pushed them out of their comfort zone, and then they're not going to get the result that they need. So once you get into their defensiveness, their gut reaction is defensiveness. They're like, "Ooh, I don't like how that feels, so I'm gonna wall off now." They're gonna close down, and it's gonna be harder to get new information out of them. That's why you have to use stages 1 to the first part of 4 to learn about them, to get the info that you need, so that you're sure. And if you ever watch my coaching sessions, you'll see this point. It's like, okay, now I'm 85% sure. Now we're not small talking anymore. Now I'm not asking you questions anymore. Now you're about to take some action. Now we're getting to the advice. And then it's not that it becomes like a mean Evan or anything else, but it's a shift in the conversation. Like, I have all the information I need to help you get to where you need to go. Now we're getting to the push. The first part is the hug. We're hugging, we're learning, we're listening, we're loving. Second part is the push. Now we got to get you results. So once you're 85% sure, you go to 100. We're expecting some defensiveness, so we're not going to get a lot of new information. And we're going for the push to get them to where they need to go, through the fear zone, into the growth zone, to get to the learning zone. So again, just that last point, if you are 85% sure or more, but you're hanging on to that 10% or 15% that you're not quite sure of, again, they're just going to hold on to your uncertainty because they don't like being in discomfort. And then you don't end up getting the result that you need for them. And they don't end up getting the result. Like 2025 them is not happy because you hedged, because you played it safe. And then you look back and say, I knew they should have done this. But your lack of confidence in the answer means they don't have confidence in the answer. Trainer Jane is asking, where does how coachable they are play into this? This is a super passionate topic of mine. I think everybody is coachable. I think every human is coachable. I think I think we label it as they can't get to where we want them to go. Like for you, you want to go from A to B. But for them, maybe they can only go from A to 8.5 or like A point little a and like slow, like a baby step. Even just having a conversation, even just opening up and sharing, that could be a win. They just might not be able to go as fast as you want them to. But I think every human is coachable. If you believe like I believe that everybody is good, that humans are good, that we're all built to serve, that we all have a single most important core value, that we all have a why. These are things that I fundamentally believe as a human that we all have. If you believe that too, then everybody is coachable. That everybody has a dream, has a goal, has something that they want to move towards. The challenge is in unpacking all of the layers of crap that they're buried under. And that's the work. That's the work that we've just talked about from 1 to 4 here, is unpacking that and recognizing that any kind of momentum is still moving towards where they need to go. We just judge it and we say, oh, that person's not coachable. My favorite thing of all time is to get people who are non-coachable, like, let's hang out for a day and see what happens. My videographer, Danny, he has a friend from Montreal, Canada here, who's like, he's been trying to help for years. And this guy he's just not coachable. He doesn't listen to any personal development. He, anytime I try to push him, he doesn't help. Like, okay, great. For the next Thought Leadership Academy, the 3-day event that I was running in Toronto, bring him. Let's see what happens. And after, not even after the 3rd day, after the 1st day, he's doing all the exercises, activities. He wants a new vision for his life. He wants it, all of it. People are just stuck in a really crappy environment, have coaches who are not patient, and have coaches who don't know how to really deeply coach. What most coaches will do is say, if the person, they label it as not coachable, but really it's, this person isn't like me. It's your own limitation of being able to help them. That's my belief. I've never found somebody who, with a long enough horizon, like the guys who stole, when I was on my tour in 2019 in LA, the guys who stole my, all the gear from my truck. We had this huge Suburban, and all of our camera gear, equipment, luggage, like everything was stolen from the car halfway through our trip. And I had to go give my presentation the next day in LA, and we had to like scramble to go find stuff. And my hope was, hey, you know, the couple people who stole from me, I wish that they were at my event. Like, if I knew who they were, I'd give them a free ticket to my event, because they're just in a lot of pain, and they need a better community, and they need better coaches. I just believe I can turn them around. And it's not because I'm so special. I think all of you can turn people around as well. I think you can. I just fundamentally believe everybody is coachable. If you're a good human, everybody's coachable. Matri says, that's beautiful. Help the people who hurt you. That's healing. So the 85% confidence rule, we're looking for the patterns, preparing for defensiveness, go from 85 to 100%. Those are the first 4 parts. There's a lot of content. There's still 5 more we're going to get to in the next one. But this is all the lead up. This is where I think, like, the advice is usually not the problem. The advice to give is usually not the problem. It's the setup to it. So this is the setup. This is what, with practice and repetition and watching back your videos and your coaching session replay in your head, you can get better at it. Maybe we'll do something here inside the group as well. I don't know. I'm open if you guys want to like really deep dive on this stuff. So normally I share my 3 big ideas. We went 5 today. Then we do breakouts, and then we're going to do some Q&A. But quickly before that, 4.5 is, this is just before we get to coaching. We got to 85% sure. Now we're going to move to coaching, and we're going to give them the advice. And now we're moving from hug to push, a loving push, right? Recognize, though, a lot of times people ask me, well, what if I don't get to 85%? What if I don't know what to tell them? What if I don't know how to help? What if they're giving me some problem that I just don't know? If you don't get to 85% certainty, don't move to coaching. Don't move to giving them advice. Don't guess. Recognize that listening alone is value. them just telling you their story that they may not have told anybody else, that there's nobody in their life who will listen to them without judging them, that is incredible value. You gave them a huge gift. And a lot of us, we want to solve the problem. We want to solve the problem. They need to get a result. They need to change. You need to get there. But you don't want to be giving them the wrong advice. So just recognize that if you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say, that it's not a waste of a session. This is what prevents a lot of people from starting in coaching, is that, well, if I don't know what to say, then I don't want to risk looking bad or not having good advice to give them. Listening alone without judgment in a loving way is incredible value that you can give people. And so do a little check. Like, okay, am I 85%? Yes, when we move to advice. If not, then you're just going to show them love. Sending you lots of love. Okay? Does that make sense? That's crazy. We got a lot. I know there's a lot of questions that came in. I had a lot of content I want to get to. So what we're going to do quickly right now, we're going to get to some breakout rooms and we're going to do some Q&A with me. So let's stop sharing. Hey, look at all these amazing people. We're back. Look at that. Movement makers in the house. What we're going to do is do some breakout rooms. And I'm going to put you into a group with some other amazing humans just like you who are also on a mission and have a purpose. And then we're going to come back. And I know a bunch of you asked questions. We're going to come back for the last part of this session and answer those questions and take it as deep as you want to go. Are we ready? Are we ready to meet some awesome people? What I want you to share is your single biggest takeaway from this session so far, and then your plan of action for the next 2 weeks. Before we meet again, what's going to happen? Your single biggest takeaway from the session so far. You're going to meet some amazing people, and we're going to come back and do more Q&A with me. Let's set up some rooms. Are we ready? Yes? Yes? All right, here we go. Creating the rooms. Go have some amazing conversations. Let's do it. There we go. Now we're back. I was talking to myself. I said, Joshua in the house. I was all excited, talking. Really, wait a minute. I'm still muted. We're back. Welcome. So the room's officially closed in 25 seconds. So get your questions ready. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm ready to go. Happy Thursday. Whew. 3D life. Joshua's living the 3D life. I like it, man. I like it. Welcome to the new faces. It's great to see you. Welcome, Jan and Evangelina. I love it. Marcella in the house. I'm liking it. Cynthia, looking good. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Here we go. Hey, we're back. Did you meet some amazing people? Did you have some fun conversation? Was it good? I love it. Okay, so we got 20 minutes left together, and I want to make it count. I want to know your most important questions. What are you struggling with? How does this landing with you? Where are you getting some resistance on it? Where does it not make sense? How can I help for the next 20 minutes? Pop your questions in the chat. Yellen is going to be pulling them for me to make it happen. Orlando was saying, could someone actually not be coachable because the student hasn't appeared yet? If it takes a lot longer, how do you get through multiple sessions before you or the coach person feels like it is not a match for you two? Okay, so this is important. There's a big difference between thinking that somebody isn't coachable versus maybe you don't want to spend the time, right? I believe everybody is coachable. It doesn't mean that that's where you need to spend your time, but just a fundamental split. It's like given a long enough timeline, if you're waiting for the student to appear, think about from your own example. There's been times where you were not coachable, and then at some point you became coachable. So what happened? Like somebody influenced you. You read some book, some podcast, some video, you watched some guy on YouTube, something happened that then made you coachable, right? You were influenced by somebody or something. You could be that somebody or something for people. So everybody is coachable. It doesn't mean that you need to go and coach everybody. There's still the yes, a matching. Do they have the budget is another match. Do they have the budget to hire me as a coach? Right. But I would just eliminate at least for me, that they're not coachable. It's that, hey, given a long enough horizon, if they were hanging out with me, if they moved in with me, I would change them. And just believing that you could, but then now you're choosing as opposed to labeling them as not coachable. Make sense? How long does it take to become a coach? You already are. Coaching is influencing. You already are influencing people. You already are coaching people. Even if you're not using the methodology that I laid out today, you're doing it. You're having an impact. Everything is coaching. Parenting is coaching. Mitri gives a thumbs up. Parenting is coaching. Being a child is coaching. Being a brother or sister is coaching. Being a leader is coaching. Having a team is coaching. Having clients is coaching. All of it is. So you're already doing it. Now the question becomes, how do I get better at it? How do I improve my skill at it? Which is the template that we're working through today and in 2 weeks. This is so much fun. I love this stuff. Okay. Susie, how are you getting people into your community? Is it simply through the live coaching that you do in IG? So live coaching is a great start. It's the fast path to freedom. Like the fastest way to do it is the fast path to freedom. I shared it on the slide, whatever page it is in Built to Serve. That's the DM outreach. That's the Fonda White getting his first coaching client, even though he doesn't want to be a coach, and they sign up for 6 months of being with him. It's the DM outreach. And the strategy there simply is you're looking at people who struggle with the thing that you help them with. So your purpose comes from your pain, right? Whatever you struggled with the most is what you want to help other people through forever. So Susie asking this question, I know she coaches on confidence. You are now looking for people who are lacking confidence. You're looking for people who are posting to Instagram with hashtag depressed, or like whatever the vibes or the emotions you were going through when you felt at your lowest. And then you reach out and there's a script, like copy and paste the script, post it in. I don't remember it, but it works, right? Like I can't go word for word and share it here, but basically you're giving value, and the goal is to try to get on a free call with them. And it's not even the goal to just pitch them something. It's, hey, I hear you're depressed. I see your post. I've got a couple ideas that might help because this is what I do. I coach people through depression. to find their most confident self, I'd be happy to hop on a free 15-minute call with you to talk about it. And some people will take you up on that. You're DMing 50 to 100 people a day. Some people will say yes. Some people hop on a free call. And some of those people, if you're a good coach, some of those become clients. That's the fastest way. The IG live stuff is content, which is great. People who watch that will follow you, will want to sign up, will want to work with you as well. But it's the content. Thought leadership is the slowest way. It's the most sustainable way, because your videos, especially on YouTube, live forever and keep building attention and awareness and interest in what you're doing forever. But it's the slowest way out of the gate. So that's why I wrote the whole last section of Built to Serve, is because it's about not just finding your purpose and living it, but making money at it. Because if you can't make money at it, money is not evil. Like we have to learn how to make money at our thing. Otherwise, it's just this part-time thing we do on the side. So I outlined the fast freedom direct message strategy. I outlined the partnership strategy, and then the thought leadership strategy. I'm passionate about thought leadership and making videos because long term, it's the best thing for your brand, and it also spreads your message really, really far. But it's the hardest one to get off the ground to get immediate momentum. So the priority is, hey, I need to figure out how to monetize this thing and start paying some bills. Fast to freedom. Start DMing people. People share their stuff on social, right? Like, you may not ever go to Instagram and say I'm depressed, but other people are doing it. So they're sharing their deepest problems and insecurities online. Use that to help and to serve. Make sense? Jennifer, how do you integrate two parts of your business when they seem unrelated, but they aren't? They are my life story. That's like, in that combination is how you win. So if you got two business ideas, if you only do one and they're both tied to you, like they're deep. And I know, with Jennifer, she has jewelry that she helps people through trauma pick the right gemstone for you, and she has her process to figure that out. And then, that wearing that helps you heal through the trauma and the pain that you went through, as a reminder. And I may have butchered that explanation, but hopefully I got it close enough, Jennifer. She's nodding her head. She's like, okay, great. The you could just be a jeweler, but then you're just another jeweler. Or you could just be somebody who does helping with trauma and be a coach, but then you're just doing that. There's other people who do that too. It's in the combination that makes it special. So these multiple ideas that you've got, it's mixing them together in a way that nobody else knows how to do. That's how you win. Because if you just do one, you're always going to miss the other. Like, oh, I wish I could do that. And same thing, if you're just doing the other one, you're going to miss the first one. But it's not running two separate businesses. It's running one business that does both things. Gaurav is saying, how does a doctor use a strategy to create content? Man, and doctors are coaches for sure. And doctors need coaching for sure. Doctors need, like, if you take this approach to say, I want to be a great coach and deal with the emotional side of dealing with patients, as opposed to only just, okay, here's what you have to do. You gotta lose weight, or you're gonna die. Okay, next person. And not to be that cold, but it's an emotional thing to help people through. To creating content, whatever you're a doctor in, whatever you're amazing at, have people come on, and there might be some limitations around the medical field that you have to just work out for what you are allowed to say over the internet and what you can, and what you might have disclaimers, or, hey, this is not meant to be a full-on medical diagnosis, and like, go still talk to your own doctor, whatever caveats. In professions like doctor, legal, accounting, they usually have some kind of caveat. This is not meant to replicate your own doctor, like whatever you need to say so that you don't, lose your license. But giving advice, people coming on, bringing their problems. I've got high cholesterol that I'm working with right now. It runs in my family, both sides. My grandfather had a pacemaker, and I'm trying to heal it through diet. And so far it's getting better, but I'm not quite there yet. So if I'm struggling with cholesterol and you're the cholesterol doctor, I can come on and tell you what's going on. And you're going to ask me questions like, does it run in your family? And do you smoke? And what's your diet look like? And how much activity do you have? All that stuff. And that's a coaching session. And it helps that person but it gives you content to then put on your channel. So you become the guy. Um, One guy that I look at is Dr. Berg. I know you guys know Dr. Berg. He makes a lot of YouTube videos, mostly talking about keto, the keto diet and keto lifestyle. His background is a chiropractor. Like he's Dr. Berg, but he's a chiropractor who now does keto, right? So he's answering people's questions and giving advice. And he's got 4 or 5 million subscribers on YouTube. Anything that touches health, wealth, or relationships are the three big ones. If you touch health, wealth, or relationships, or you can tie your messaging into health, wealth, relationships. If you're a doctor, you're in the health category easy, right? If you're Susie doing confidence, you have to now make it fit health, wealth, relationships. Like, how does having more confidence help me in my relationship or help me in my business or help me, right? So those three. But if you're already easily in one of those, that's where you want to spend your time for sure. Coaching. Edge in the house. What a name, dude. I love it. EJ Edge Bassett. Can you have more than one market that you can reach? I'm a sales trainer and live speaker. You can. I'd still look at the combination. Like I would put it all into one thing. So Edge, I come to Edge for this thing. You look at me. Look at Evan Carmichael. I'm the Believe guy. I'm the YouTube guy. I'm the author. I'm the League of Legends guy. I wear a bunch of different hats depending on the room that I'm in, but it still all fits with Believe. Like the key is figuring out inside of what were the two sales training and live speaking. What's the core message underneath there? Like, I don't know if you've picked up Built to Serve, but figuring out your who, your most important core value. What is that? So if we took Susie's who of, confidence, or Zan's who of confidence, that's your job, is to give more confidence. And so your sales training is about confidence, and your life speaker is about confidence. Like, what's your main message? And then you're just applying it to different skill sets. If you can't connect it to the top message, then it all feels kind of all over the place. But if you can, then it starts to make sense. If you use mine, I teach people, like if Edge was about belief, I teach people to believe in themselves more. And we can do that inside of sales, and we can do that inside of life. Now it doesn't seem like it's all over the place. And some of the people who will hire you to sales training might also hire you for the life speaking, and vice versa. A lot of people hire you to be a life speaker. A lot of them are entrepreneurs. They probably need help with sales too, and have you come in and do that. So it's a lot of us, like, we like wearing multiple hats. I think that's part of being an entrepreneur. You don't want to just be boxed in and be one thing only. But the one thing is the message. The message is the same. Your core value is the same that you bring through everything that you're doing. Lady Lexi, you keep talking about the fear. I keep running into your structure. I write it down, but since it's not perfect, I do not record. Any suggestions to get me moving? Is stop. I mean, this is why we created the 100 video challenge. Is to stop accepting fear as a good enough reason. One of the greatest shifts you can make in your identity is to be the person who does scary things. The fact that, like, if I wrote that, then I'd have to go do it, just because, even if it sucked, I would film it right now where you're at, and you have to think, oh, the lighting sucks, or you've got a pad of paper behind you, or like whatever. I don't know what's in your background there. It's like you've got like a whole book on your fridge or something there. It's like you might worry about all that stuff. Great, film, post. It's really just not accepting fear as a good enough reason. And my three trigger words are scary, difficult, hard. Like those three words, if I say them, now I have to do them, just because, whether it works out or not. And listen, nobody's watching at the beginning anyway, right? It's not like you're going to put up a video and 1 million people are going to see it. But we'll look at it and we'll give you some love. That's why we made the 100 video challenge public and in our group, to be able to share your progress. And everybody who I've talked to about it has already gotten better, right? Like 10 videos in, 20 videos in, 30 videos in, you go back and see, man, I'm so much better 30 videos in than I was at video number 1. And so that's the challenge. And now wait till you get to 100, right? You're just going to be so much better. So just your homework, Lady Alexis, just make a video today. But it's dark and it's night and I'm tired. Great, make a video today. It's like 8 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes. Make a video, post it, put it to the group. add it to that thread of the 100 video challenge and let us cheer you on. Deal? You got a thumbs up, Lady Lexi? We're going to make our video. Hey, all right. I like it. Good job. Okay, what else? Pauline, what about focusing on your niche? Can you get confused with too wide an audience? Yes. So I'm Believe, right? When I first came up with Believe, I thought that was way too big. Who am I to be the Believe guy? And it's funny how we talk ourselves down from the big ideas, right? It's not just our friends, our family, people around us. It's us. We come up with a big idea and then we immediately say we can't do it. We talk ourselves down from the big ideas. Cynthia is giving a thumbs up on that one. I didn't even share Believe with the world yet. It was myself saying that it's too big an idea. So I love helping people with Believe, but my core is entrepreneurs. I love it's why I love movement makers, because you guys are all entrepreneurs. You're purpose driven, heart centric, trying to make an impact. Like helping you guys I love helping people down the street, but like, you guys are my family. I love it. I want to see you guys win so badly. And so Believe is for the world, but then I focus in on helping entrepreneurs. EJ Edge was saying he's about sales training and life speaking, right? And so there's something on top of that. If it was confidence or believe or trust or faith or something, and that's how he's going to excel. Other people have a believe message and they take it in different directions. They might be a pastor on stage. Shamu the Sea Whale had a believe tour. Celine Dion had a believe album. Like people are spreading it with their own art. I'm not going to get on stage and sing like Celine Dion. You don't want to hear me sing. But she's doing it with her art and I'm doing it with my art, and you do it with your art, and you pick your audience. Your audience is going to be people who are like you, who came from the same background, who are on a similar drive. But I could believe in anybody. I could help anybody believe more in themselves. Susie could help anybody have more confidence. But we're not accepting the limitation of like that person's not coachable. It's just we're choosing where we want to focus our time. Our purpose comes from our pain. We want to help the people who currently are who we used to be. Sharon is saying, so even in my creative niche, a video on how to blow dry hair fast, would it be great to still use a thought leadership framework? Yeah. What's wrong with how people blow dry their hair? Like, tell me the thing that, I'm not looking that up. Right? My hair dries super quick because there's not a lot happening there. But what's the big mistake that people make? Like, what do you believe about blow drying the hair? To me, it sounds like a super easy topic. It doesn't sound like there's a ton of art to it. But it's like, no way, Evan. There's art. Like, to blow dry your hair, you don't just turn on the machine and go like this and you're done. There's an art to make it look good. And so your challenge is to think about I'm not your audience, right? Your audience, Nina is going to be your audience. My wife, she's got super long hair. Yuko, by the way, Nina wants to come out at some point and get a haircut. We've been talking about it for a while. Yuko's an amazing hairdresser that's fairly close to where we are. So we'll make that happen. But Nina might be your target audience. So what does someone like Nina believe about hair drying that is wrong? That is it that it doesn't have to take a long time, or that you're going to ruin your hair or burn the edges? I don't know. Like, whatever. The thought leadership framework is about teaching. So you have to tell me something that you believe about blow drying hair that most people would find weird. That doesn't make sense. And you're hitting me right away at do it. And then you're going to help me. You're going to walk me through how to actually do it. But that's much better than, okay, let me show you how to blow dry your hair, or even worse than, hey, welcome back. It's Sharon. So happy to be here. Another video. So ladies, today, I was like, you haven't told me anything yet. Tell me something. Help me. Next, like, people are going to skip to the next video. The first sentence is something you believe about, and it's for everybody, not just blow drying hair, like something you believe about X that most people don't believe. Like, what did she just say? That hooks my attention in. And then they'll watch the rest of your thing. Anna, different question. Sometimes subs drop down when views are high. What are the factors that drive subs up? And what are the factors that drive subs up and down in relation to views? Subs drop when views are high. It's the audience. So you're looking at what the video is. When that happens, it's usually some off-topic video. You need to look at the traffic sources. So now we're going like deep on YouTube, but when you first post a video, the only thing that people can do is unsubscribe. So when a new video comes out, it's very likely that people will unsubscribe because that's their only option, because it's only going to your subscribers at the start. So they're going to unsubscribe. That's fine. That's normal. When you're going to get new subscribers, it's not coming from your current subscribers because they've already subscribed to you. So now it's, well, where am I getting the views? Am I getting it from browse? Am I getting it from suggested, or am I getting from my subscription feed? So I'll be looking at, are we getting new people in with our new videos? If there are a lot of new people in, then how relevant is that video to the rest of your topic? Like if I made a video about blow drying hair, maybe I blow up, but they're probably not going to subscribe to my channel because all the other content is super off topic. Cool. That was a fun one to kind of end on. Guys, it is 5 to noon. I feel like we just started. Is it crazy? I don't know. I feel like it just started. Anyway, time flies when you're having fun. I love you guys. Movement Maker is amazing. We're going to be back on in 2 weeks again, part 2 of this. So this was about the setup to have a great coaching session. Next week is about the tactics of now actually running the coaching session. Thursday is my public facing day. So I take the energy and the love and the vibe from this, and I'm going to pour it into millions of people through podcasts and Skype calls and Hangouts. And Terry's jumping like a maniac there. I love it. We got to get everybody on trampolines. I've been trying to hold back here because sometimes it's distracting to be jumping. But if anybody wants to join the trampoline club, let me know. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for sharing with each other. And I continue to encourage you to connect with each other and collab with each other and do more work with each other, because it's not just learning from me. We're a family. We're in this together. We've all got important missions and movements, and we're here to help each other do it too. I appreciate you. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Continue to believe. And thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week. Goodbye.